Alright, let's see here. Hey, it looks like we're live. Hey, greetings, Varlet. This is Dosino Rivas at Shade. Sorry, let me say that again. Greetings, Varlet. I'm Interrogator Dosino Rivas attached to Lady Marcholme of the Order Mechanicus, and welcome to Looking Cute and Drawing Minis. Coming at you live from the grim dark future, currently broadcasting from the high world of Virago. The theme music for the stream is, of course, Lament and Hope by the venerable liturgist Adam Bell. We also have music from Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, composed by Guillaume David and the copyright at Bulwark Studios. And music from Warhammer 40k Darktide, which is composed by Jesper Kyd and the copyright at Fat Games. All of the music is brought to us by filmmusic.io and pixpay.com. Today, we're continuing to draw the Deathworld Veteran Agent. So we've come quite a long way with her so far. I'm really liking how she's coming out. I think making her from here was actually a really good idea. Because I was originally thinking of just going Katachan. Maybe even Krieg. You know, because both of those are well-known Deathworlds. But I feel like going with an unknown Deathworld where there's not much history and we have kind of a background of the planet was actually a good idea. This helps us actually learn a little bit more about the Imperium. And for those of you who are maybe a little confused as to what my idea is with this character, and with other characters in the future, let me go ahead and pull up the internet here, and you can see sort of what I'm going for. Wrong. One. There we go. Ooh, we got the Twilight Zone there. There we go. Maybe we can play with this a little bit. So yeah, this is the idea. There is the Inquisitorial Agents kill team. And they each have their own characters. Well, not characters, more like models. Each of these is supposed to fill in a role within the Inquisitorial kill team. So I wanted to make my own version of that. We click here and we go through actually all the different characters. Or again, the different models. These aren't characters, these are model archetypes. Let's shift this a little bit. There we go. Hey. Yeah, if we look here, there's different models. Like the one on the upper left is supposed to be the servitor. The one in the middle is supposed to be a Mechanicus scribe. And then right there on the upper right, you see the Deathworld Agent. And here on the bottom left is actually yours truly, the Interrogator. Yeah, so I'm filling the role of that Interrogator. And then there's a Pistolier Agent, and then you have the Mystic Agent. Hey, we got 70 Rose coming in, saying hi, Rosario. Hi, 70 Rose. How you doing? Have a good week? I'm kind of just going over right now the idea behind the character that I'm drawing, and that I plan to draw more characters in the future, or at least conceptualize more characters. Whether I'm actually going to draw all of them, is yet to be seen. But I do plan to actually get all these characters actualized. And we have Ragiel saying, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ragiel. How you doing? Yeah, so... Oh, and then Torero says, oh, cool. Yeah, I kind of just want to explain a little bit. Just the idea. Again, I am an interrogator of the Inquisition. Which means I don't have the same amount of power or privilege that an Inquisitor actually has. But I do work directly under an Inquisitor, sorry. And yeah, so I fill in the role of the character on the bottom left. So I want to make a character for each of these minis for this kill team, so that at some point in the future, maybe you guys can play with your very own kill team of my own Lady Marcholme retinue. I thought it'd be very fun to create characters for you. You said, wait, our left or yours? Your left. So this one with the gun and the book and the eye patch, that is the interrogator, and that is the role that I play. I play the role of an interrogator. And on the upper right corner is the Deathworld Veteran Agent, which is the character that I've been drawing. But yeah, each of these models, I plan to make a character of. So yeah, there's the Interrogator, Deathworld Veteran Agent, the Mystic Agent, which is a Psyker. So I do plan to have a Psyker. And here are some different shots of different parts. This on the upper left is the plasma gun of the servitor. And this is the scribe, which is from the Mechanicus. And yeah, there we got the Deathworld Veteran Agent again. And there we have what do you call it? The prison world. The prison world agent. The penal legionnaire, that's what they call it. Penal legionnaire. Yeah. So he comes from a planet that is entirely a prison. Just a giant prison planet. Then we have the interrogator, which is the role I play. Then the quest keeper agent. And we have the, I forget what this one's called. But this one is pretty much the torturer of the team. And we have the pistolier, which is on the bottom right. Yeah, so all these characters all these models I plan to create characters of. Yeah, so I wanted to give you kind of an idea of what the plan is, really. I feel like a lot of people are not quite understanding why I'm drawing this character, or at least what the point of drawing her is. So I wanted to, give you a rundown of it. But yeah, let's get back to the drawing. So yeah, here we have our Deathworld Veteran Agent. And so far, she's looking very good. I'm loving how the design is looking. It's very ninja / monster hunter with an Uzi, which I think is pretty fun. But yeah, let's continue. But how's you guys' week been? What you been up to? And Guillaume says, I finally finished Angry Ronald, and I'm finishing up a Vampire Lord. Which Vampire Lord? Is it one from Age of Sigmar? Is that from the Spearhead box? You mean like, what's it called? The Soul Blight Gravelord's Spearhead box? I know they're coming out with a new box, aren't they? And he said yes. Okay, nice. Is it the old one or the new one? That's why. I think they're coming up with a new one. I wasn't sure if that one's come out yet. I think I just saw the video of it the other day. And Region says, dang phone calls. Hey, no worries. We're still here. We got pretty much a little under 2 hours left to go. So, hey, no worries. You got phone calls you gotta answer, you go ahead and answer them. I thought of something very neat the other day, and I kind of want to start implementing that today. Like, what if the straps aren't really straps here, but they're like spindly legs that are latching onto her back? Again, keeping with the idea that this is a armor made out of bugs. So I thought it would be really cool if like something akin to like spider legs are coming out of these carapaces and attaching to the back. Region says, ooh, that does sound interesting. Oh, glad you like it. I thought it would be pretty fun. He said, gives it more of an organic feel to the armor. Like makeshift. Yeah, that's the idea. I want to make it so that these, Mahir worlders, I guess for lack of a better word, create their own armor, create their own, weapons. From the kills they've made. Something akin to Monster Hunter. Saudi Rose says, very cool idea, but also very creepy thinking about big bug legs wrapping around her back. Better her than me, I guess, Lo. Yeah, it definitely comes off kind of creepy, but I feel like has this really cool vibe. And one thing that Warhammer is known for is rule of cool. Oh, I got some new music, by the way. What you're hearing here is some bardcore. I figured some bardcore would be really good for a change of, change of rhythm. But still keep it in theme. Ragiel says, I'm trying to think how to make the base of this more graveyard-like. I mean, you could always put a grave on there, maybe a little cross. And Ragiel says, I'll never get over this if I can't make a decision. Seven-year-old says, oh, to answer your question, my week was really good, but also pretty tiring. I woke up from a nap to eat dinner and watch your stream, and then I'll probably go right back to bed. Haha, how was your week? My week was pretty good. You know, though a little slow, I wasn't able to do many missions this week. We're kind of having a bit of a downtime for our crusade against the heretic. So I've been mostly just painting minis in the background and watching some new shows. I just started Sakamoto Days, which I'm really liking. I can't wait to see more. And I also started watching, what was it, Way of the House Husband. Really funny. I am really loving that. That seemed more right. Regiel says, nah, it's already standing on a rock, and it's more so because it'll set the tone for the rest of the army. And then Regiel says, I have noticed the Necromulta cultist. I don't know what that model is. It's actually an old cultist model. So before the current cultists, you know, the ones with the very elaborate spiky armor they have now, very moon-shaped that they have, they had these. And I picked them up years ago, but I had never thought of what I wanted to work with as far as paint scheme. So I never painted them. But now that I have a good idea that I want to actually use them for Slaneshi cultists, I was like, okay, I finally got a good color scheme for them. Especially with the main one that I painted with the half mask, the one that covers his mouth. I wanted to base it off of the Hanya mask. You know, the Kabuki mask with the creepy teeth. Yeah, I wanted to base it off of that. And then Regia says that post on Insta. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And 70-year-old says, I saw a few episodes of The House Husband. It was so funny. Yeah, I know, right? I am loving it. I love the melding ridiculousness that is being a housewife, or I guess in this case, a house husband, with him being this tough guy, Yakuza guy. You know, Yakuza gangster. It's pretty funny. The 70-year-old says, I like the new Bard music. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I figured maybe a little sprinkling of a different genre every once in a while. But again, try to keep it in the aesthetic that is the grim dark future of the 41st millennium. And then we have a first-time chatter. Welcome, a Thaddeus Clanton. And he says, could the rock be replaced with a grave or broken crypt? Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's what I was thinking. Maybe like a graveyard, or like a grave, or like a, you know, why am I drawing a blank on the word I said earlier? Tombstone. There we go. Tombstone. And then Region says, that does sound nice. I might do that with the horseman, but I think the rock is part of the model. Unless I cut it, and I'm a bit lazy. But yeah, welcome, Thaddeus. What brings you in today? And you find me on YouTube, on Instagram. That also, in case you don't know what I do, my name is Rosario Rivas, attaché to Milady Inquisitor Margum of the Order Hereticus, and this looking cute and drawing minis. I'm currently drawing this character that I plan to make a mini of at some point. She is the Deathworld Veteran Agent. I will I will premiere her name as soon as I'm done with the drawing. That is Clantus's YouTube. Oh, well, welcome. I hope you've been enjoying the VODs and the rants. I put a lot of hard work into the rants. And there's a new one coming up this week. Be prepared for this one coming up on Thursday. And Thaddeus says, I saw one of your videos exploring the 40k videos. It might have been a rant, I can't remember. The rants are usually shorter, they're about 5 to 10 minutes long. They're right now covering various topics, mostly my opinions on different things about 40k. And Regel says, it's funny to see that a month ago that was just a blob of lines and now it has definition. I now feel more old. I'm sorry, it is taking me too long to draw this. I need to practice more in order to get a little faster with drawing. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. There. And Rayon says, trust me, this is actually impressive considering it's once a week. Yeah, I just been like kind of the fire has been lit, I guess, a little bit as far as drawing, especially after seeing Ron illustration or Ron Illust last week. Remember when we rated his stream? Every stream he does a new drawing, which I am very impressed by. And then we got Vice39. He says, hello, sorry I'm late. Had yard work. Hey, no worries, and welcome back. How you doing? Misa says exhausted from said yard work, but otherwise good. Happy to hear it. But yeah, Rekia, what's your plan for the color scheme? For your Soul Blight Gravelords? And Regan says, well, the Vampire Lord is pretty vanilla since I want the army to be generally dark, but mostly dark with purple cloth. Ah, okay, yeah, because the original color, if I'm not mistaken, is red. There we go. Regan says, yeah, so the horsemen will stay red since their name has red in it, but the Varlets will have purple hues and more cooler colors at the contrast. Ooh, okay. The Varlets, that's the more that man, for lack of a better word, or man bat looking creature, right? And Regia says yes. Ah, okay, cool. And Regan says, but after the Varlheist, I might start up my second Primarch since I have to paint them all. Traitor or Loyalist? Oh, here we go. Which will be either Magnus or Mortarion. Which one do you like more? I feel like, despite it being the older model, I like Magnus's model more. And Regiel says, honestly, I think both models are amazing and even look better than Angron. I think because Angron is a more basic design, for lack of a better word. It's what you'd expect, almost. It's not very creative, I guess. And Region says, yeah, he should have had an attacking pose, at least, because, you know, he's angry. And Vice says, if memory serves, Angron just looks like your average berserker embiggened. Yeah, and I get that. That's why I feel like I prefer the other Primarch models over his. Because his is, again, very basic concept. And maybe that's why I can't jive with the World Eaters in general. I feel like they're not all that interesting visually. But funnily enough, I like the corn berserkers and corn models of Age of Sigmar. I think they just look so much cooler. Though I gotta say, the new models, what's it called? Models for those, that kill team of, was it Bloodletter wannabes? I forget what it's called, but it's called Blood and Zeal. At least the box with the 2 kill teams. I think they look really neat. I like the robotic legs on those guys. And then Region says, don't kick us while we're down. We already got nerfed. I'm sorry. I'm just saying why I've never really jived with Korn and all his aesthetic as far as 40k. But I really do like I said, the Age of Sigmar models for Cameron. And I would actually love to paint some Korn berserkers at some point. And Ragion said gore monsters. Okay, yeah, gore monsters. Thank you. And Rakiel says, I agree, but then again, AOS designers have always been the superior team. I wish we could fire the 40k team and just let them do it. I mean, they've actually done really well with the new, what's it called? The new, Space Wolf models. And the Space Wolf models look amazing. So don't sell them too short. And Ragia says AOS supposedly did the new wolves. Well, maybe never explain it. Maybe they actually fired those guys that you're talking about. Okay, you said team. Yeah, I got you. All right, line's looking good. So yeah, Thaddeus, what was it that actually got you into 40K? If you're still around, that is. No shade if you're not here. We all have very busy lives, so I appreciate your visit. I feel like with at least these lines, kind of want to keep them just the way they are. Maybe there's something I can do here. Right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting out this part. And making a copy of it. That would have to redraw that line. Because I think those lines already look pretty smooth as it is. They copy it. And there we go. Nice and smooth. And now I'll be merging the layer. And now we have 4 lines. Okay, now this has been the tricky part because I kind of have an idea of what I want for the boots, but trying to get it just right is gonna be difficult. I love it when that pops on. I really do think it should be a noise marine that's doing that, though. As fun as that video is, it should be a noise marine. For those of you who are not in the know, noise marines are actually the part of the Chaos Space Marine line. They are Marines who love music and love different kinds of sounds to the point where they actually use it as a weapon. So they have these rifles that emit like these sonic screaming, screeching noises that they love to hear. And they use that to pretty much disorient and maybe even kill their enemies. Sandy Rose is laughing, and the advisor says the older models had weaponized guitars. Yeah, I really wish they would have kept that guitar or instrument aesthetic. I feel like as cool as these look, the new ones, they don't really scream noise weapon. It's like I look at it and I'm like, that could be used as a flamer. It almost looks like a flamer, like a flamethrower. So I've actually thought about using that. Remember that I've recently did a kit bash of some white scars and using the Emperor's Children's box. And I'm thinking about maybe using those noise marines and just making them like they're holding flamethrowers. But it says, I think it was trying to distance themselves from the original drug, sex, and rock and roll aesthetic, which might have been immature in modern times. Yeah, I feel like that wasn't the best way to go. They should have just kept the aesthetic. And Visa said, leaves openings for third parties at least. I hear DACA is going to make a set of sisters themed around Slanesh. Yeah, I've already seen their models. They look pretty cool so far. And they're not the ones who did it. What was it? Wargaming. Wargaming Miniatures. They made their own version of the Sisters of Battle. And at least Chaos themed Sisters of Battle. And they look really cool too. Daria says, if the orcs can have a model with weaponized guitar, why can't the Emperor's Children? Exactly! And Visa says, I hadn't seen those ones yet. Yeah, like I said, they're not the only ones. I think even Artel W, they did their own version of Slanesh Sister Battle musicians. Which, if I remember correctly, they look pretty cool. And we got Benji77, first time chatter. Hello. And he says, hello, I have a small lore question. By all means, feel free. And welcome to Looking Cute and Drawing Minis. I am Interrogator of US, Attaché to Lady Marcholme of the Order Mechanicus. And yeah, welcome. And somebody Rose says, as a singer, music weapons sound cool, lol. Yeah, I know, right? You don't see that a lot. Like, the only time I can think of, like, sonic weaponry made by a singer was Shriek, I believe, from Batman Beyond. If anybody remembers that character. Visa says, I just missed the Batman Beyond era. Wasn't watching the channels it was on anymore. Definitely recommend it. Batman and Superman, and Batman, the new Batman Adventures, I think it was called. The new Adventures of Batman and Robin, those were all amazing cartoons. Like, I love them. They're so good. And Benji says, what do you think the Custodians think of the Salamander? Says the Custodians seem to value human lives more than the rest of them to a degree. Also, fee for free? I'm not sure what you mean by fee for free. I do plan to make this character wearing tabi boots, if that's what you mean. But what do you think of the Custodians think? I don't know. That's the interesting thing. I would have figured that Custodians are all that interested in humanity, to be honest. Because their whole thing was that they were in the Emperor's, what was it? The Emperor's throne room / castle for millennia before they did anything. So I would figure they're more interested in making sure that the Emperor is safe than in humanity in general. That's just a thought. But as to what do I think they think of the salamanders? I mean, if that's how they're portraying them now, I would say they'd be proud of the salamanders. I am not liking how those rats are looking. And Visa says, oh wait, before that, Thaddeus says, what about the Justice League cartoon? Oh yeah, that one too. I thought I had mentioned it. I guess I didn't. But yeah, that one, it was also amazing. And Ragiel says, well, Custodians generally have low opinions in general. And don't the Space Marines have low opinions of the Custodians in general too? Like, there's some animosity there from what I remember. And Ragiel says, Batman Braving the Bold was fantastic. I couldn't get over the whole kitschy / comedic take on it. It was very much like in the style of that old Batman TV show with Adam West, which as a kid I remember really liking, like a baby kid. But as an adult, I just can't get into. So that's why I never got into the Batman, the Brave and the Bold. And Ragiel said, yes, it's a hate-hate relationship. Okay, so there we go. And Benji says, okay, another question. Is there any evidence of something else coming from the void other than the Tyranids? It says it was mentioned once or twice that they might have been running from something. Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea. I hadn't heard that they were running from anything. What I had heard was that they were coming in from two different sides of the void. Kind of implying that the Milky Way is surrounded. And Thaddeus says that Thunder Warriors definitely have a bad opinion of the Custodians. Well, yeah, any Thunder Warriors that are left would have a bad opinion of the Custodians. And Regia says no, because it was written that outside the universe there are stronger forces beyond comprehension, so you only focus on the Milky Way and nothing past it. That's the only mention of things besides the main factions. I think it's one of those best not to think about it. And they probably will never really focus on. And then Benji says, okay. But yeah, Benji, what brings you in today? How'd you find me? Did you find me while just looking through Twitch? Or did you find me on Instagram or YouTube? Benji says, I saw 40k. Oh, hold on, I missed one. Thaddeus Clanton says, I think an old Lord Mechanicus once set a probe outside our galaxy. The only thing that they heard/saw was static and orcs screaming. that would make sense. Benji says, I saw 40k. And feet. JK. Okay, gotcha. And Ragal says, yep. Yeah, the orcs are supposed to be the most numerous of factions. Okay, how do I do this? Trying to figure out how raps work is sometimes a little annoying. According to the Silent King, at least what Ragian is saying is, according to the Silent King, no faction is more grave a threat than the Nids, and if they don't band together, they will all die. Well, I don't know about all die, but they are definitely considering the Nids the biggest threat, especially if they ever plan to get their bodies back, or at least have bodies again. That's the problem that they are running into. They see enemy of my enemy kind of scenario. Benji says, I got into 40k for one simple reason. Because Lord Commander Dante was such a cool name, if they won't let my boy rest, then at least let him meet every returning loyal Primarch face to face, and maybe the Emperor. I get the feeling that Dante will be the last man standing. Ragyao says, poor man just wants to die. Yeah, but the Imperium still needs him. So no death for you. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Benji says, hey, maybe he's destined to hold the line just like his father. Ooh, yeah, that would definitely be something. Hold the line. Ow, meow, meow, meow. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry for the ear bleeding. Benji says, I like him because he feels like the Master Chief of the universe, and he isn't even the strongest, talented, or even unique lore. Not even top 5 of the chapter masters, I'm sure. There's always somehow a gravitating towards underdogs. And I think a lot of people love that. I think that's why, at least for me, I find the more human characters to be more interesting. Like the Imperial Guards, the Mechanicus, the Sisters of Battle. The ones that aren't superhuman, I've always enjoyed more than the more superhuman characters. Sort of the same as we were talking about the Justice League earlier, same with Batman. Batman is the more human character of the bunch, and that's why I think he has more appeal. And I guess in your case, because he's not even the strongest, that's maybe why you have a bit of an appeal to him. Again, the idea of an underdog. And Tadia says, I wonder if Dante has met the most Primarchs of any living Space Marine. I mean, he's been around since the Heresy, right? He must have met him at some point. Visa says, unlike Superman, you too can be Batman if you won $1 billion in the lottery. True, but I guess the fantasy that comes with Batman is the idea of being your own man, to actually being able to build yourself, make yourself the man you want to be. And Benji says he's met 3 if you include his near-death experience. Alright, let's see how that looks now. Alright, yeah, I think that looks a lot better. And Ragion says, let's be real, Batman has superpowers. Yeah, it's called being the writer's favorite. And Ragion says he's benched 1 kilograms leg press and 2 kilograms astral projected. And Titus says, has he met any of the Demon Primarch? I said, I feel like he's maybe met some of them before. I feel like, again, he's been around since the Heresy, so he must have met all of them at some point. And Benji says, not that I've heard of, but I'm pretty sure Angron will bring down the entire world Eater Legion on any other demon faction that tries to take Dante. But why do you say that? What makes you think so, at least? Okay, let's do the same we did earlier. Just start from the bottom, work our way up. And Benji says, well, they came to help them at the Battle of Baal because they believe their souls and blood rage belongs to Khorne. Ooh, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, because I know Khorne originally wanted, what's his name? Sanguinius, instead of, Angron, didn't he? Diason says, blood for the blood god. I think I have a soundboard that does that. Yep, I do. So if you want to yell it, it's only 500 bits. Or 500 points, not bits.
Blood for the blood god!
There you go. And the Benji says, yeah, there's a theory that the Primarchs, the Chaos Gods, preferred to have were the opposites who stayed loyal. Yeah, I heard that originally maybe Slanesh won at Jagatai Khan. But instead he got Fulgrim. And Regan says, it was prophesied that Ango would be the demon prince, since of their way to New Sarah, the Aldari tried to kill Angron before he became the Primarch. I mean, prophesize and wanting, I would say, is two different things. Like, maybe it's prophesied that Angron was going to take it. I mean, what was his name being Angron? But, they may would have preferred Sanguinius. And Regan says Horus himself stated that he wanted all the loyalist Primarchs. Yeah, that's one thing that I find to be a bit of an issue with 40k. Is that, for whatever reason, they've written all the loyalist Primarchs, except for Ferrus Manus, as total badasses. And then all the Chaos Space Marine Primarchs as scrubs. I don't know why they did that. I feel like you're diminishing your villain that way. And Veggie says, I mean to be honest though, Slanesh still got an ace out. Got an ace out of it, and a really good one at that. Yeah, the Fulgrim is pretty cool. He definitely has his fans. Okay, I'm not really feeling this. Let me try something different here. Regio says, Fulcrum is the only writing I don't like at all, because he was just forced to be corrupted because of the plot. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with the writing of the Horus Heresy. And Fulcrum is amongst many of them. Region says, Angron was stronger as a normal person than a prince. And to be frank, Fulgrim is still technically the strongest Primarch with Rollo Dorn, even saying he could have won the heresy, but just created a hole in the wall, then got bored. But he says, yeah, from what I've seen, that's true. He was just an easy gram of power. Funny enough, all that you guys are discussing is something that it's pretty much part of my rant. My upcoming rant is coming up. Okay, I said that twice. Yeah, I have a lot of issues with the writing of the Horus Heresy and how they treated a lot of their characters, Fulgrim included. And Regia says, I expect to see credit on the video thanks. The video's already done. So, unfortunately, no credit for you. Don't cry, Ragion. It's just funny that something I've discussed, or at least I plan to discuss. Well, let me rephrase that. Something I have made a video of discussing this topic is something we're discussing now. Hey, I think that looks okay. Benjamin says two of my favorite stories from Dante 1, talking about how ashamed he would be, and how it would affect morale if anyone in the chapter saw his white hair and obviously aging body, and that he always had to show strength for his chapter under his armor. The other one is his iterations with the Salamander chapter. I guess you mean interactions with the Salamander chapter master, which is really cool. It's like seeing a very younger brother speak to the respected older brother he has never met. Yeah, those sound pretty good. I like the idea of more human characters, humanizing these characters, and they definitely have worked wonders with Dante. Probably why he's a fan favorite. And Megan says, looks really cool. Good. Sorry. And Benji says, must be crazy that the only Marines that know you from the beginning are dreadnoughts. What do you mean, know you from the beginning? And Benji says, Dante, I mean. That know Dante from the beginning? Region says he means the only Marines left alive since Dante times. Ah, gotcha. That including Chaos Marines. Thaddeus says all of Dante's old friends must be in dreadnoughts at this point. If they're still alive, that is. Well, it says dreadnoughts are cool. Just ignore the eternal constant torment as you burn your soul for fuel. Wait, that's what happens? I didn't realize that's what happens with the dreadnoughts. That's pretty crazy. With Dentar dreadnoughts, at least. I think box nuts aren't bad. Yeah, I like the original box nuts. Okay, I think that looks about right. And Bison says, I admit I am very weak. Juan, I miss a few. Vega says, but it's a life of pain and misery. Wait, no, I miss more than that. Okay, Benjamin says, also haven't the Blood Angels been the chapter who's had the most near extension of the chapter? No, I think it's the Raven Guard who are near extinction. And Regalin says, I'm pretty sure it doesn't burn her soul. I think that only for Chaos Threads. That would make more sense. And Regalin says, but it's a life of pain and misery. Baza says, I admit I'm very weak to the Redemptor design as it overlaps with mechs. Okay, I get you. But I like the more coffin-like, more inhuman look to the dreadnoughts. And then Regal says, just look at the Space Wolf one. Yeah, the Space Wolf one is great. And then First Time Chatter says, aka ZM Art says, hi, how you doing, ZM Art? Welcome. This is looking good, looking cute, and drawing minis. I am Interrogator Rosario US at Assassin Lady Marcholme of the Order Hereticus. And I'm currently drawing a Deathworld Veteran Agent. He said, doing good, just drawing. Ooh, what are you drawing? I'm drawing too. Like I said, I'm drawing a Deathworld Veteran Agent, just so you can see how that's looking so far. Right now, I'm kind of just drawing the main lines. And Benji says, look at those feet. They're covered, but an S tier for sure. Yeah, I wanted to go with a more tabby look. Again, I like the idea that this is a character who's half ninja, half monster hunter. Ooh, thank you. And you said working on a webcomic. Ooh, what webcomic? And put the link if you have it. We can check it out. And ZM Art says dungeon. It's called Dungeon Henshin. Ooh, what's it about? Oh, here we go. All right, let's open this up. And then Hekaton saying, hey, Rosario Art, how you doing, you sexy lad? Yeah, I'm doing good. How you been? What you been up to? I saw you were painting earlier today. Sorry I couldn't come to the stream. I really wanted to. And ZMR says it's a fantasy comedy action comic about a bard's quest to save the world. Hekaton says that is okay. I appreciate it. Like I said, I definitely want to catch the next one now. What were you painting? Were you painting more of the, what was that? Jesse from the Team Rocket? Alright, so here we go. Just looking through. Megaton says that Jessie is more or less done. Nice. I just gotta put her on a base now. Well, it looks nice so far. Ziab says, a little big on a desktop though. Yeah, I'm definitely have to check it out. But yeah, the link is in the description. I'll go ahead and pin it. So people can see it. And ZMR says, I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Hey, no worries. Thank you for showing it to us. Like I said, I'll definitely read it. But yeah, ZMR, how did you come across my stream? Here we go. ZMR says, if you like Konosuba, you'll like this. Oh, I love Konosuba. Konosuba is great. And Zio says, I was just scrolling through the art category on Twitch, and here you are. Here you were, lol. Oh, well, hey, thank you for coming. Yeah, I'm usually a miniature painter, but today we're doing a, today and the last few weeks have been an art stream. I am currently creating this character for a miniature I plan to make down the line, and also a character I plan to be a part of my stories. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little cheat here. Haha! And then Visa says, oh yeah, Space Wolves reminded me of a custom kit I put together of an ancient wolf redemptor. Very badass, but hurt my fingers on a lot of pokey bits. Yeah, that's an unfortunate problem you find yourself a lot with. Oh, what's going on with my voice here? Hello, hello. Okay, I think I'm good now. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I just sounded so squeaky here. All right. What I miss? What I miss? Okay, Regil said, I'm trying to think if I should put cassandra yellow on this hair or not. For what hair? And Benji says, really hope one day they do more with the Sisters of Silence. Since the demonic enemies was a huge problem during the Horus Heresy, they must definitely be taking way more precautions. And yeah, I think that's an issue that I feel like we're running into. The fact that they're silent makes it harder for them, I guess, maybe to write books for them. Isn't there only like one Sisters of Silence book? But it says, it's not a proper Warhammer model if it's not anointed in your blood. And then somebody else says, the Rosaria just inhaled some helium, lol. And Veggie says it's Jover, she's been possessed. Seems okay so far? Yeah, I think we're good now. And then Regio says, dang, the Chaos Demon I sent failed. Yeah, he definitely failed. And Hegato says it's squeaky Rosario. His voice jumped an octave. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. That was weird. Alright, back at it. So we are done with the tabby boots. Now for the most daunting of parts. This hand and the gun that's holding it. Oh wait, let me make sure to draw the outlines of these arm bands. Yeah, note to self, do not draw while next to a helium factory. Alright, let me pull up a reference of a Uzi. Because again, the idea is that all these characters, the main weapon that is, at least the main firearm that they're all given are auto pistols. Which auto pistols are just pretty much they shoot the ammunition that's available nowadays. So I want to give them different versions of auto pistols. So I figured, you know, keeping with the whole idea, at least that I first had, with the Deathworld Veteran Agent, where I was basing her slightly on Billy from Predator, and also the idea that Sly Marbo has an Uzi. I was like, okay, giving her an Uzi would actually be fitting, I think. And Ed Video says, "Hey there, Rosa. How's the art coming along? It's going pretty good. We are getting pretty far with her. Right now, I'm getting to the point where I am gonna start drawing the weapons." And the video says, "Ad. All right, let me know when you're back." Alright, this is gonna be a little difficult because drawing weaponry is not easy. Let's go ahead and save what we are. And again, the angle doesn't necessarily make it so that it's like one-to-one on a profile level. So I kind of have to draw it like it's kind of at an angle. If he says, "Damn it, I'm sorry." But hey, yeah, welcome back. The art's going well. Like I was saying, before you got interrupted by the ads, is that it's coming along nicely. Right now, we're working on the hands and weaponry. Let me get you a zoom out of what it's looking like so far. Yeah, and that's what she's looking like. Seven Eight Rose says they do a string a lot all of them in a row, so we miss anything Rosario says or responds to. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Before I get too deep into the hand, let me go ahead and finish these wraps right here. Sony Rose says, "Yay, ads are done." Hey, welcome back. And Rega says, "Don't be loyalists, need to pay their tithes." Rega says, "That's why I don't watch the ads." Fria says, "Have you seen the new wolf models?" Yes, I have. They look pretty sweet. And then Frio says, "People are speculating that it might head towards a Rust return." And then you believe it too? I don't know how to feel about another Primarch returning so quickly. I feel like it shouldn't be the case. But we'll have to wait and see. Region says, "You mind if I send you some pics? I wanted to show you Angron." Sorry, some pics. I'm guessing there's a period there. "I wanted to show you Angron since I complained about him all the time, but I wanted an opinion on the vampire lord here with Cassandra Yella." Yeah, go ahead, send it to me. Also, don't forget Dorn is teased in the Fulgrim Codex, from what I hear. See, I have the codex, but I haven't gone through it yet. Because I bought like I said, I bought the, what's it called? The limited edition Emperor's Children's box. But I haven't actually looked through the codex yet. Because I wanted to buy them just for the models so I could Kit bash them. And Fiddy says, "By the way, a 3-day con is happening at the end of May. I will attend too. And I'm even going in a 40k cosplay." Oh, nice! Which con? And what are you going to be cosplaying as? He says, fantasy-based con. Uzis are very boxy. Dragel says, "That sounds sick." Yeah, I know, right? Via says, "Well, with how you know me, which faction do you think I will go as?" Wait, are you actually gonna go as a Space Marine? I mean, if I remember correctly, your favorite were the Dark Angels, right? Sony Rose says, that sounds cool, Fidio. And then Regio says, well, to be frank, most 40k guns are literally boxes or cylinders. Lol. Yeah. Fidio says, you think I can go in full power armor? Yeah, I don't know. That's a very expensive, I guess, thing to do. So that's why I like, you said faction, so I wasn't sure. And Ragion says, Stormcast Eternal, if it's fantasy? Well, he did say he was going to go at something 40k related. If he says, I ain't got that kind of cast laying around. If he says faction, not legion. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I could, Regia says orc? I could totally see Fijua as a digger knob. But I don't think he's gonna go as an orc. And, says would love to, but I could at most go as a snotling. And then Regia says, hey, don't put yourself down. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could pull off an orc. Especially with your wrestling background. And then Fidia says, I am being realistic. I'm gonna say, if you're not not gonna be spending too much money, then I'm gonna say you're going as maybe an Imperial Guardsman? Or one of the little guys that carry around weaponry for the what's it called? Oh yeah, for the Dark Angels. Those little gremlin guys. Oh, I don't think I saw that. I know you mentioned faction. I remember seeing that you specifically said it was a Xenos faction. Yeah, if you just said Rosa, I said it's a Xenos faction. A Xenos faction? Going as Eldar? Or maybe a Tau Gevasa? And, yeah, Regel says, watches in the dark. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Everybody says, close enough. A Harlequin. Ooh, wow. Those are pretty elaborate. I didn't think Harlequin, because again, I would think a costume for Harlequin would be very, very pricey to put together. Miguel says, that sounds pretty sick. Yeah, it does. Harlequins look so cool. Yeah, I really wish they would update their line, honestly. I would love to make some, or at least put together some Harlequin. Frida says, I couldn't get a 1-to-1 replica, but I mixed together some things to at least resemble a Harlequin. Nice. You'd have to show pictures on your page. And then Regus is true, but definitely not Space Marine expensive. Yeah, definitely not. Fitio says the mask was honestly the most expensive part. Yeah, what'd you do for the mask? Anthony says, bought a Venice carnival mask with horns. Ooh. Yeah, aren't the ones with the horns like the leaders? So I know you have the Harlequins without the horns, you got a Harlequin with horns. And I think the horns are like more the leader units, aren't they? Yeah, Rega says, ooh, just like I did. Video says, I pray to God it will fit me. Wow, you haven't even tried it on yet? Ooh, that's risky. Video says, with horns because it simply looks cool. Regel says, so you do cosplays, is there a way I can see? Video says, had to order everything because Switzerland ain't got any Warhammer whatsoever. Really nothing, huh? I'd afraid they at least have something. Fidijo says Region ain't a cosplayer. It's the first time I go to a con with a makeshift costume instead of my resting attire or a colorful suit. Yeah, Fidijo is a wrestler. Regel says, haha, that's amazing. I used to wrestle when I was a young lad. And he says, keep up the good fight. Yeah, most definitely. Bia says, was it also show wrestling or was it Greco-Roman? Trying to draw a gun at a strange angle is really difficult. But I think we're getting there. Video says, oh wait, hold on. Regio first says, I don't know, I just remember wrestling in school, but I didn't care much for the formalities. As such, I liked to fight back then. Video says, come on, Rosa, you gotta use the geometric multiplication axis to figure that one out. Well, I am not that mathematically savvy. The Fragile says, fight being conscious of strength. The Free says, so it must have been at the Olympic wrestling. I do the show wrestling, John Cena type wrestling. Somebody Rose says, are you using any reference pick for the gun? Yes, I am, but not the angle that I'm drawing it in. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. Headphone actor says, howdy, I'm here. Sorry for the delay. Hope all is well. It's quite the delay. We're actually going to be ending here in a few minutes. But hey, thanks for coming anyway. Regan says, what's up, headphone? And somebody Rose says, gotcha. Good luck with the angle. Yeah, headphone says, damn pain. Mother Day dinner with the family. I'll be on time next time. Hey, no worries. Family comes first. Glad you had a good time. That might do it there. And by the video says, by the way, Rosa, have you heard of Kama? Yes, I have heard of Kama. Well, he said something afterwards. Ever heard of Anna's Archive? No, I haven't heard of Anna's Archive. And Region Lewer says, man, it's already been 2 hours. Crazy. Yeah, that's what happens when you're having fun. Time flies. But I think the gun is coming along. Well, yeah, I think it's looking like an Uzi. But yeah, this is our progress as of now. I'd say we're doing pretty good. Feature says Relifo showed it to me today, and it's an archive where you can read old Warhammer fantasy books for free. It looks amazing. Oh, thank you, thank you. And oh wow, that's really cool. You'll have to show me the link. Yeah, I think she is coming out really good. I think by next week we should actually start being able to add some color. Is that something you Varlets want to see, or would you like to see me get started on another mini? Would you want me to color her, or is line art good enough for you guys? Region says, shame they can't stick the landing on fantasy endings. I mean, I keep hearing a lot of them are pretty good, like the Gotrek and Felix ones are supposed to be really neat. And he says, which is amazing because GW does lick all to reprint the old books, and God knows when it'll be on Audible. So Anna is the next best thing. F1 that says, oh, also, did you have a chance to print the Destroyer's Ascension? No, I don't have a 3D printer yet, so I can't actually print anything out yet. But thank you again for sending. Via says, damn, look at them hips. They don't lie. And Visa says, take it home, we'll go all the way. Alright, you gotta finish what you started. Alright, got it. I will actually get her to colors at least. And Rega says, I'm just here to be a creature, so I'm okay with whatever. And Headphone says, color would be nice. Alright, got it. We will be doing colors. But we are getting close to having her completed, which I am pretty stoked about. But yeah, let's see who we can raid before we call it a night, guys. Looks like Zombie Pandemic is currently streaming. Let's go ahead and raid her. But again, if you like what I do and would you like to support, please consider subscribing to my Twitch channel or donating to my Ko-Fi at Rosario USR. But if you missed an episode, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which is also at Rosario US Art. And again, remember, next week, well actually, this week, the next Rosario rant is gonna come out. It'll be this Thursday at 10 a.m. EST. So be ready for it. And it has a lot to do with what we were discussing today. So be prepared for that. And let me know what you guys think of the video. I feel like I was a little rambly this one, but I get it. Again, I think it makes sense with my whole rant shtick. So hopefully it'll be okay. Let me know what you guys think. And Theo says, any progress on streaming more times per week? No, unfortunately not. We'll get there though. I feel like we're getting close. Via said, oh, sorry, and Painty Paint Paint's coming in at the last minute saying, loving the progress. Thank you. Yeah, and really appreciate it. And Headphone Actor says, yay, rant. We're gonna go ahead and start clicking that raid. Alright, so yeah, pretty soon we'll be raiding Zombie Pandemic. So again, thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it. I have been Rosario US, and I'm sending off from the Grimdark Future. Bye-bye, Varlets!
You guys there. I've been following them in game for the last... Wait, what? Where you at?